I've always wanted to participate in Peachtober, but whenever I tried, I wouldn't get past the first couple of days, or I would get time to plan it out beforehand, but then make the project way too complicated. So this year, I did it a little different. Hello, my name is Jade, and I like to paint with pixels. A little context before we dive into this little sketchbook tour. For 50 days before Peachtober started, I had been drawing every weekday and posting it to Instagram. Just a little 30-minute doodle every weekday on a smallish canvas. And this year, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to try Peachtober again when I'm already sticking to a routine that I've sort of got the hang of. So I drew every prompt that landed on a weekday, and then gave myself a little break on the weekends. So, to summarize, I did 25 out of the 31 prompts. They're all on 100 by 100 pixel canvases, and they all contain little characters that I like to draw. Alright, let's jump into this. So, for day one, I actually didn't upload this one to Instagram because it was on a Sunday, but this was one that I did a little later on the stream. And this is one of my characters. She's called Daisy. She's a bee. And that was obviously very fitting for day one's prompt, which was bee. I wanted to try and have her sort of jumping on like a giant flower, and it actually connects with the next prompt for day two. So day two was Cosmos, and this one I was really debating between the two meanings, but I already had an idea that was space related for a prompt that's later on the list, so I thought I'd go for a Cosmos flower. But I thought this one would be fun to play around with scale a bit, so it's like a giant flower in comparison to Daisy, the character that you saw in yesterday's prompt. For day three, this one introduces another character that I like to draw, which is a frog called Lily. I wanted this one to have two meanings, so the act of a sweet gesture, like giving a gift, and the gift itself being really sweet, which it is, because it's honey, or it's meant to be. But this is actually the first instance where I started to use speech bubbles to show how my characters communicate with each other, and having a bubble that represents each character with like their own color worked quite well, especially once there were multiple characters talking, which are in some of the later prompts. But yeah, I really like this one. This one's quite cute. Day four is for Grub. This one was before I committed to the idea of just using my characters, but I think it works well for this one. It's another one of the prompts where I wanted to mix a few of the meanings together, because I found out that grub has a lot of meanings. So it's grub the larva, and grub as a verb to dig, and grub as in food. So it's a grub, grubbing for grub. And I thought that was just fun. I quite like that. I quite like this one because it has, I've never really done a lot of texture with like dirt, but I really like how this one turned out with the little squares and little pockets of dithering here and there. Yeah, I vibe with this one a lot. Day five was for Sprig. I kind of struggled with this one. This was the first prompt that I started to struggle with, just because I didn't know how to interpret Sprig. I don't know why, I just didn't know what to draw for it. But I liked the gifting idea from day three, so I wanted to use that again with a character gifting something to the viewer instead, just to play around with perspective. So this is Lulu, my little bunny character, here giving you some sprigs of lavender to help you sleep, which I thought was quite sweet. I didn't know that lavender was like described as a sprig, but I thought it was fitting. Ooh, this one was really fun to do for day 6, which was for I. It's one of the first prompts that I saw on the list and I immediately had an idea for. I've never really experimented with drawing glass and sort of distorting the part that's covered with the glass. So I wanted to mess around with that, with having my bunny character Lulu and my bear character Fern sort of playing around as detectives with magnifying glasses and really making an emphasis on looking through it with their eyes. So yeah, this one was quite fun. I like this one. I feel like I've said fun for all of these, which is a good sign, but man, I need to think of better description words. For the next two prompts, these were the last two that I did on stream as like extra prompts outside the weekdaily uploads. And for this one, I had a fun idea to kind of combine the two prompts. So the first one was Crater, and I wanted to have a fun little doodle. Fun again, it's back. I wanted to have a doodle around all my little characters exploring the moon and looking at craters in the moon. And I feel like that at first would seem a bit weird or out of place, but I wanted to sort of emphasize that there was something else going on with the framing of this one. So there's sort of a cloud framing around the main image, which is explained a bit better in the next prompt. So day 8 was for a dream, and this really helps explain what was going on in the previous prompt. And it was all just a dream that Lulu was having while she slept. And I tried to shrink down the previous piece and just sort of put it in the corner to save a bit of time with redrawing it. And with a bit of cleanup, it turned out okay. I feel like it's still recognizable as the image from yesterday's prompt. What's nice about this as well, that I started to explore with some of the feature prompts as well, is sort of connecting some of the images with like a little storyline, and yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well. For day 9, the prompt was blue, so I wanted to have the color palette predominantly be blue, but also I wanted to expand on the world that these characters are set up in. So I made up this cute little spot that they'd normally visit called the Blueberry Cafe. We do love a good pun on this channel, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and I made a little character who owns a cafe. I'm not sure what their name should be, but leave some suggestions in the comments below. Day 10 was for Citrus. This was another one of the prompts where I had an idea very quickly for it. I wanted to have a couple of my characters to be making some citrusy drinks, and because I don't normally draw mouths on the characters, I wanted them to use the slices of fruit and give them like little smiles, and I thought it was quite cute. I think this is one of my favorites, and it's using a Polaroid sort of framing, which I do a lot in my other bits of work as well, so thought it was quite nice combination. Day 11 was for pencil. I think this week in general I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to draw for each of the prompts, because this prompt was also quite quick to get an idea of what I wanted to draw for it. I'm quite pleased how this one turned out. I don't know where she got the giant pencil from though. We haven't got a backstory for that, and that's okay. Nest was the prompt for day 12. And this one I tried to branch out a bit with the perspective. At the start of my week daily drawing, I made this cute little drawing of Fern and this little bird friend that she found. And this was sort of a conclusion to that story, with helping the little bird find their home again. And I really like the story behind this piece, though I think the execution could be a little better. It's still tricky to recognize that the grey blob is Fern, the little bear character, but still, it was very cute. I still like it. Day 13 was for Ship. This was another piece where I tried out that glass material and distorting what's seen through the bottle. I quite like the idea behind this one, but I think I could have made the bottle itself stand out from the characters more, as the outline of the bottle itself kind of blends in with the characters behind it. For day 16, the prompt was psychic, and I wanted to continue from the prompt where Fern and Lulu got their magnifying glasses and make them sort of a cute detective duo looking for who stole the stolen cookies. Who stole the stolen cookies? Who took the stolen cookies? Because you could only see the thief from their silhouette, it had to be someone who had a very obvious silhouette, so there was really only one option. I'm sorry, Daisy, it had to be you. But yeah, I was happy with this one. Day 17 was for blush. I already add little blushies to all my characters, or try to when I don't forget. So this one felt quite easy to do. I just wanted to emphasize that with a pose, as if someone said something really sweet to Lulu and, you know, it got her blushing all of a sudden. But yes, very cute. Really like this one. Day 18 was for snooze. Since I already did one of someone sleeping, I kind of wanted to do something a little different by having it be around someone hitting snooze on their alarm instead. I quite like how in this one you can tell Fern's mood even without having to see her face and her expression, so that felt good to at least still try to capture that. Day 19 is for candle. I really enjoyed working on this piece. I wanted to play around with lighting, as I don't really do very much of that at the moment, and use the original color palette to emphasize what is in the light of the candle and what isn't. I think I could have pushed the areas of shadow to be even darker, but I still think this looks really cozy and nice. Day 20 is for bulb, sort of playing off of what I did for candle. I wanted to play around with lighting more and the idea around having a light bulb moment when you think you have a great idea. If I were to do the next prompt, which was slingshot, it was probably going to be a continuation of this piece somehow, and Lily having some sort of crazy idea to do with a slingshot, but perhaps for another time. The next few are sort of connected in their own little story. Day 23 was for message, and I like the idea of a message in a bottle, so Lulu and Lily find one on one of their beach trips. Day 24 is for wand, and I wanted to get all the characters I had so far involved in the story, so I had Daisy and Fern find a magical wand covered in shells somewhere else on the beach. I liked trying to push the lighting on this one, and making the lighting affect the speech bubbles too, even though it's quite subtle because there's not much going on in the background on this one. I still think it's a nice effect. Day 25 was for Carl, and I wanted this to be some sort of conclusion to the little story we have going on. The story is that the wand has revealed a treasure map on the message in a bottle, and that's led them to go searching under the sea for some hidden treasure. It's been nice to see some of the aspects from other prompts, like the lighting and the speech bubbles, sort of play a role in the later prompts that I've done. I wanted to try and have them collectively gasp because they found the, X marks the spot, but I'm not sure if combining all the bubbles is clear here. I like the outline, so maybe I could have just done the outline with the different colors, but kept the exclamation mark as a single color, just to keep that clear. Day 26 was for Ladybug. This was another one where I had an idea pretty quickly for the prompt. I knew I wanted to do something really zoomed in and looking at like a tiny ladybug and try to emphasize the difference in size between the ladybug and Fern. And I really like the teeny tiny little exclamation mark speech bubble for the ladybug. I think it's quite cute. I really like the texture on the leaf in this one as well. Day 27 was sort of a continuation on the ladybug prompt, and this is sort of a zoom out of that, where they're nearby a pond and Fern's being called away to help with something, and the ladybug from the previous prompt is flying away. and Lily's just happily watching the fish in the pond, which I think is quite cute. I quite like the way I did reflections in this piece, and I haven't really explored water too much with my art yet, so it's something that I'd like to practice more and maybe incorporate some of the reflections in other pieces. Alright, we're almost there. The last two are a combined story as well, sort of setting up for a little Halloween party. So day 30 was for Moss. I do really like the idea of this one, but I think I could have pushed it a bit further composition-wise to make the moss a bit more central to this piece, or just a bit more emphasized. I think if I moved the rock and the log, or like the stump, a bit closer to the viewer so that I could frame Daisy setting up the pumpkins, I think that would help, both with framing the piece and also being able to add a bit more moss, or add a bit more detail to the moss, because it sort of blends in with the grass at the moment. And finally, we have day 31. The prompt for this day was spooky, so I thought I'd have all my characters in the last prompt throwing a little spooky party in the forest. And this is nice because it's sort of a continuation from yesterday's piece, where if you just pan the camera a little to the left, that is essentially the view of this art piece. And there's a lot going on in this one. It was one of the final ones, so I definitely spent a lot more time than 30 minutes on this one. I think I spent like an hour or something. This one I did on stream in the last day. But I really like how this one turned out. It has a lot of nice callbacks to the previous prompts, with Fern being a mermaid and Lulu being dressed as an astronaut from her dream, accidentally being levitated by the wand Fern found at the beach. But yeah, I just felt like this was very fitting for the final piece of the month. And with that, that is all 25 completed. I did consider trying to do the rest of them on stream, but I just didn't have the time before October finished and for when I wanted to get this video out, and I didn't want to burn myself out right when I was at the finish line. I'm really proud of the work that I made this month. I got to draw my characters in fun scenarios and create little stories that connected some of the drawings, or had nice little callbacks to drawings before I did Peachtober. If I still have this drawing habit like this next year, I will absolutely give this another go. I'd love to know what you thought about this sketchbook tour format. I'd like to do this for other sketches that I've done too. Maybe the 50 drawings that I did before this? Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care out there. Bye!